I ask you to think of India's most popular jail, I bet 9 out of 10 of you would think of Tihar Jail, India's most notorious high-security prison. Today, we sit down to talk Netflix's Black Warrant, a chilling dive into the dark alleys of Tihar Jail, based on the acclaimed book of the same name. From the infamous exploits of Charles Sobhraj to gut-wrenching tales like the Nirbhaya case and encounters with hardened gangsters, the series explores the thin line between justice and corruption. It's guided by Vikramaditya Motwane and Singh. All of them join us here with the star cast. A very warm welcome to NDTV. My name is Arun Singh. Of course, we're talking about dark cases here, and I've had the pleasure and privilege of watching a few episodes, and it gets really dark. And again, we're talking about these really dark cases.
I think it's very sexy.
How dark did it get for you guys?
Not black.
It was fun.
Really?
I mean, we were all smiling.
Yeah.
Oh, all of us as viewers, we were kind of into a spiral and went into overthinking because, you know, we talk about a jailer who's seen so many executions in his life.
How many episodes is it?
3. Oh. Okay.
Yeah.
Is it gonna get worse?
No.
No, not at all.
It's going to be fun.
Go
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah.
Exciting.
Yeah.
But for you, Zan, what did you think when you first read the material? Did you go through the cases?
Yes. So I had no idea about the book, to be honest, until I got the call. I got the call from the casting office, from Mukesh Habra's office, and his associate Bheem sent me this audition scene and briefly told me it's based on a book. And it was from that moment on when I went out and got the book, I got hold of it and I started to read it. And it was fascinating, and there were stories in there and anecdotes of things that you
Did
could
you have
not.
to Google stuff while you were watching? Okay, what was this person's backstory or things
So-
like those? Or was the book enough?
So the book was the starting point, and then I was very fortunate to also, so Mr. Sunil Gupta's kind of legacy of interviews and articles that he has given. So there was an incredible body of research material, and there was also then peripheral kind of material, interviews, articles about Tihar, about other inmates, about other cases, incidents. And so then, yeah, but it was an amazing opportunity to learn about something I had no idea about. And yeah, there was infamous, like you said, like these cases like Ranga Billa. I honestly did not know about it. It's from a generation before I was born, but yeah, shocking to learn.
And what about you when you first approached it? Had you read the book, or you read the book and immediately you thought, okay, let's turn into a series?
Yeah, so I read the book first before, and I asked Sidhant to read it. So I thought the book was fascinating, not because of the cases, yes, because it's a bit of a mirror into our modern history, and we tell very little stories about contemporary history in this country. So there was an immediate attraction and a fascination to be able to think, okay, here's something that I grew up in the 80s. I understand this entire generation. But I thought what was fascinating was the fact, look, with jails, there's a tendency of being able to say, I guess 0.0001% of us will ever go to jail in the first place. And we'll tend to look at jails as places where we're going to just sweep things under the carpet, lock the door, throw the key away, and just forget about it. But what actually happens inside? And I think Sunil Gupta's book, the way it was, where there was the light that's shone on what's actually happening behind the jail, what the jail staff does, what those people are, besides the cases, besides the marquee stuff of your Charles Sobhraj or Ranga Billa or the JNU students, any of that kind of stuff, the fact of the day-to-day stuff that happens behind was fascinating. The whole idea that Charles Sobhraj got him his job was fascinating. I'm like, I was hooked from that moment itself to say, okay, this is something that I think definitely should be made.
And that's why we slowed it down. So the book is less than 200 pages, 35 years. Yeah. But our first season is only 3 to 4 years. So we decided to slow it down so that we don't focus on the cases which then become anecdotal. And we go into the life of Tihar, which also is there in the book. The book is funny. The book has tenderness. The book has humanity. So that's why, in fact, while making the show, I think we were quite clear that it has to represent a world. It has to represent a work, a job, and it can't be all dark. It has to be funny. It has to have its own politics and things like those.
The relationships also.
Yeah. But of course, before I move on to other actors, but did you ever consider the controversial aspect of it? Because here we're talking about, some political figures being shown. These are popular cases. There's so much of public material out there. Were you careful while creating or curating that?
First season, thankfully, is not that problematic because the last few years of Sunil ji's life, he's dealing with some people who are still in power. But back then, he was dealing with people who are mostly gone. So, and all these, of course, Sobhraj is still there. But, so mostly it wasn't that problematic. I think if and when we get to make, the last 5 years of Sunil Gupta's life, that is when it will get really, yeah.
The closer you get to contemporary stuff, it does become, I think but, cannot preface this without saying the fact that I think we're oversensitive as an audience. So it's on public record, it's a book. I'm saying really in the end, if you look at it from a purist point of view, what's the controversy? So.
Yeah, it's all facts.
Yeah, it's all facts.
Talking about Charles Sobhraj, it's a character which has already been done as well on screen. Was there a pressure? Did you approach it in a different way so that you do it your way? I mean, were you consciously trying to approach it differently so that it doesn't look the way it has already been done?
Well, so thankfully, I haven't seen anyone portray Charles as in before, whatever's come out.
You haven't seen it on screen?
I haven't. So thankfully, it's Charles who I saw for the first time, and I was enamored. Like I said, he's the greatest actor in the world for me, really. And being an actor, playing the greatest actor was delightful. And when he calls you for something, you feel that pressure already, So I remember he called me and he said he's working on Black Warrant and there is this role of Charles Sobhraj and it's a special appearance. And I read it, it became a little too special. It really did. And it's been a process. And I think there's one thing that he said you'll have a lot of fun doing it. And I've had the most fun doing it.
Yeah, it looks fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the kind of moments added there, the accent, everything, it adds fun to the entire story. But when it comes to, all of you coming together on set, of course, we see three of you have this camaraderie, an equation, a chemistry. What was going behind that? Were you doing any workshops or was it just you kind of gelled well and that's how it started? Let's start with you.
So first, when I got locked for the character, I met Vikram sir. So when I met him, I was like, sir, you're so tall. I never thought about it. You yourself look so smart. Why don't you try acting? So that was the first thing I said to him. Because I've always heard about him, but never got a chance to work with him.
Okay.
So then we did some readings, and he just used to come, sit, right, do this, okay. Read it like this. Isko thoda gusse mein pad de. So that was happening. And when we were meeting, we gelled up very well behind the camera also. I think that's why the chemistry you have seen on the screen must be good, I guess.
Yeah, it is.
So that's because of that. And everybody was so cooperating and helpful. Like Zahan always say that it's always give and take. Abhi hum interviews aaye, he said the same thing. So everyone was giving, everyone was there to prove something. That's why I think today we are here and that's why we got this.
Right, and when you're working in a series, there's so many aspects that an actor gets because of the character, because of the different dimensions that you explore. You've done so much of TV, you've done so many different films. What stood out for you when it comes to this, OTT culture, the way they shoot, and all these new actors coming together?
I mean, it's so exciting to work with all these young actors and how serious they are about their work. And I mean, we came from times when hame pata hi nahi tha kya kar rahe hain.
Do we have to take this with a pinch of salt? Or?
I'm really appreciating
These young actors.
Yeah, I mean, look at these boys and see them. When I hear them talk, I've been hearing them talk. I was thinking, my God. मैं क्या था यार जब मैं उम्र में था तो मैं तो पता नहीं क्या कर रहा था. So you see how times have changed and people, they are so serious about their craft and I have learned so much from them. In fact, I just I just love to interact with these guys. In fact, I used to tell them when I used to do scenes, I used to ask Zahan and I used to ask Chima, I used to ask Anurag कि मैं कैसे करूँ ये बता कुछ करते हैं आप मुझे बता मैं कैसे करूँ. Yeah, I swear I used to do that. I used to sometimes tell them that, ask them, अरे यार बता मैं कैसे करूँ, मुझे नहीं समझ में आ रहा, मुझे क्या करना चाहिए. So Anurag would come out with, सर आप कैसे करो. He would say, सर आप ये करो, सर आप ये करो. Then something I would take, and sometimes I would say, ये नहीं करना.
But he's a very smart actor that way. Yeah. He always listens to you.
Open for
Always,
feedback.
always. He's very open to feedback. मैं अच्छा कर रहा हूँ नहीं. And he takes what he wants. Yeah. That I learned from him. He's very smart that way.
Even my interaction, I remember, I hardly had any interactions with anyone because, like I said, it's a special appearance. But then, yes. And then, जब मैं set पे आया, so I had to stick to that accent because it used to slide away. You know, Charles का जो accent है. And then I remember a little bit of conversations that I had with him also. So everyone brings their own essence of the character, you know, when they're normally talking also. So he's talking to me about where I'm from and Jammu and Gandhinagar, my accent mein baat kar raha hu, and he's laughing also. It's like, you know, in Charles' accent, he's like, where are you from? I said, from Gandhinagar. And he's like, Gandhinagar. So it becomes like that. But it was fun. Yeah.
Because I'm from Srinagar. He's from Gandhinagar. So, you know, it's not too far from where we both come from. We are from the same state. Although state is divided by an and, there's Jammu and Kashmir. I don't know what that and is for.
It's 7 hours drive.
I think that and is other places which have.
And now union territories, but Anurag, as he said, you know, everybody was contributing. There was give and take happening. You were mostly bashing people. So, what got you into that kind of head, or are you, as a person, also a bit?
I am completely opposite.
Oh, you're a tender person.
I don't abuse at all. ऐसा नहीं कि abuse करना गलत है, but I don't. Habit नहीं है. मेरे दोस्त करते हैं. I don't drink, smoke, whatever. But that's why it's fun for me. It was fun for me to.
You're what they describe Sunil Gupta in the series, right?
Yeah.
Like he doesn't abuse, is tender, sweet boy, a good boy,
sweet, but
Adarsh Balak.
But yeah, you can call me that.
Yeah.
Okay.
So,
yeah.
it was fun, yeah. So to play a character opposite you is fun, na?
Yeah.
So if I play somebody like me, it's boring for me. So it was fun for me. And again, nobody focused on their character. We focused on the scene. Like Zahan के साथ बहुत बार हुआ है कि he's told me कि let's do this. And I never questioned why. Because I know कि ये scene की बात कर रहा है, अपने लिए बात नहीं कर रहा है. He's talking about the scene. Same with Param, same with Rahul sir. कि our focus was to make the scene better rather than अपने character.
It's a collective effort.
Yeah, it was a collective effort.
But how is it to have Vikramaditya on the set? And because I spoke to Apar Shakti once and he's like कि मैंने बहुत सारे actors को देखा in their zone. But he's the first director I've seen who goes into the zone, and he said, I used to get scared during Jubilee. I used to get scared. Has he not liked what I've done? Because he's in his zone. And he said, I would like go back to him and be like, is it okay? And then somebody told me, oh, he's in his zone. So what stood out for you guys?
I'm thankfully used to it.
I mean,
immune to it.
It's headphones, it's notebook, it's everything. And I think once in the whole 51 days, I think once, you know, you give the take and you look and he's looking there and he's going, once I've got now. That's it. I'm holding on to it. Otherwise, it's always.
And there's like to each other.
all this.
बुरा कर रहे हैं क्या हम लोग?
And you don't know. But then he comes in and he gives you some kind of little nugget of direction, little nugget of something to kind of trigger, and it's really amazing actually. It's a blessing.
When we started the shoot, the thing was, one day, second day, third day, he's not saying anything. He's like coming, taking, going, aage, coming, taking, going, and I'm an actor, so we are actors. We think a lot. So we are overthinkers, obviously. I'm an overthinker. I used to go home, I used to lie on my bed and like, क्या कर रहा हूँ यार मैं? या तो I'm doing very bad, या तो बहुत अच्छा कर रहा हूँ. So I discussed it with team, Satyanshu sir and all. मैंने कहा, I should get to know if I'm doing it right or not, because he's the one जिसकी मुझे चाहिए कि यार ठीक है. वो 7 दिन आया नहीं. So what happened? I came, he was in his vanity. मैं गया, दरवाजा नॉक किया, he came out. मैंने कहा सर क्या ठीक है? कहते क्यों क्या हुआ? मैंने कहा आप कुछ बोल ही नहीं रहे. कहते I am like that. This is my way of working. So from that day I got to know, okay, this is his way of working. और एक दिन एक scene हुआ था which is in 7th episode. I did that scene with Tomar sir and that's the scene. And when I did the scene, Vikram said, that's my zone. Let's do it. Pass around. Okay, yes, let's go.
That's what is probably the biggest reward.
Yeah.
And I think all of us can agree that we are all big fan, including I'm sure you also, as he's mentored you and all of that. So we'll wrap it with a Vikramaditya quiz. Okay, let's see who's the biggest fan here. What was his directorial debut?
Easy, breezy.
No, but now we have to do. Let's say yay, okay, and we say who's done it the first.
Okay.
Which Netflix original series did he co-direct that became a global sensation?
ये किसने बोला लेकिन?
अच्छा, ये नहीं बोला है. We have to say ye. Okay, then we give it to him then. Which film was India's official entry to the Cannes Film Festival?
Yeah.
Done. Yeah.
He goes first.
But
Of course, it's
I would
easy.
like to correct it. It wasn't India's official entry to Cannes. Cannes had selected it to be a part of Uncertain Regard.
Certain regard. Yeah. Udan, yes. The film in
This deserves a later yeah.
Lutera was film loosely inspired by.
Yeah.
I thought he said yay first.
But तू बोल रहा है.
Okay. Okay. Now it's a tie. Name his film in which the protagonist is locked in an abandoned apartment.
ये बताएगा.
Trapped.
Now I think last question. Name a superhero film directed by him.
Yeah.
You decide the winner now. Everybody has said yeah at one. Lovely. That's a great note to end this with. All of us are a huge fan of him and a great job, of course. And we're excited to watch the entire series and, of course, the upcoming seasons as well. Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming here. And with this, we've come to an end of this conversation. This is Arun Singh signing off for NDTV.